Hi, I'm Caleb Bolton, the children's pastor at Bethany Christian Church in Princeton. I'm excited to be the first of 3 talks about Bethany's parent-child dedication. Dedicating your child at a church is a very important ceremony, and I want to take a few moments to talk about parenting and things you can do to be a strategic parent. I say it that way because a lot of parents are involved in their child's life, but are visionless. I want you to be a parent that isn't only involved, but also has a vision for your parenting. An important part of that task is asking yourself, what do I want my child to become? Who do I want them to be? Not necessarily what do I want them to accomplish or what do I want them to be involved in, but the question is, what do I want them to be? Who do I want them to be as a person with Christ in their life? Here's an interesting thought. Most parents spend more time planning the perfect family vacation than they do planning for their child's future. We believe that beginning with the end in mind is crucial in strategic parenting. You want to be a parent with vision and strategy. You don't want to be an involved parent that's visionless. Let me start by saying that the father is a very important piece of the parenting puzzle. As a dad goes, so goes the family. One telling statistic to support this is that when just mom goes to church and dad stays home, only about 27% of the time the dad and kids will follow the mom to church. But when dad goes to church, the mom and kids will follow about 80% of the time. When it comes to the spiritual things in the family, dad should take the lead role. You don't have to be a spiritual giant to do this. You can start by making sure your family is in church on Sunday. You can make sure your family is praying together. You can make sure they are reading their Bibles. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train a child in the way he should go." Dads, don't be intimidated by this task, but look at it as a privileged responsibility given by God. Now to both mom and dad, pray for your child. Never underestimate the power of prayer. It's one of the most important things we can do as parents. Pray that God will bring Christian friends into their life and that God would be raising up a Christian spouse for them. Pray for their spiritual development. If we don't prioritize the spiritual development of our children, we can get caught up in what the world says is important. We start focusing on their academics or their sports or their music or any other things they're involved in. Although those things are good, they shouldn't become a priority over their spiritual development. What goes on at home is way more important than what happens at church. Don't rely on a church, a school, or anyone else to be the primary person who creates that spiritual development in your child. Don't think someone else is going to do that for your child. Make sure you own it for yourself. Pray that as your child's spiritual development grows, that they will love Christ themselves, that they will own their faith for themselves, and that they will want to live for Christ daily, not because they're forced to, but because they want to. Pray for your child's spiritual development. Clarify your family's core values. In other words, what qualities do you want to describe your family? You can usually pinpoint what someone's values are by where they spend their time and money. So take some time to ponder, what values do you have or want to have to describe your family? Do the values that you have now match the values you want? What needs to be done to make this happen? Now I want you to work on this assignment. I want you to sit down as a couple and make a list of characteristics, values, and qualities that you would like to see in your child when they turn 18 years old. As I mentioned in the beginning, I want you to think about what you want them to be. Again, not what you want them to do in life, but what you want them to be, who you want them to be at the age of 18. It may be things like being a humble person, or a person with compassion, or someone who wants to share their faith with others. Just list as many different things you can. Then I want you to narrow it down to your top 5. This is a great start to beginning with the end in mind. Keep these goals in mind throughout the years. Use them in guiding your child, molding them, and praying for them. If you do this, I think that when they turn 18, You are going to feel good as a parent that you did all you could do. The fact that you listened to this today tells me that as a parent, you care about the spiritual development of your child. Every child is born with a purpose from God, and that's what this dedication is about. You as a parent dedicating your child to God for His service. You want to create an environment in your home that will allow your child to grow in the relationship with Christ so that when they leave the home, they will be better prepared to discover God's purpose for them. You have reached the end of talk number 1. Each session will have a key word for you to send to your children's pastor to let them know you completed each video. For this talk, text or email the word values to whoever you've been in contact with for the dedication. Thanks for listening, and your next step before the child dedication is to watch talk number 2, where you will go through 4 intentional practices to make faith personal and real in your home. God bless.